Today we are going to dive deeper into our knowledge about culture. So in our last video, video 1, we learned about cultural intelligence, we learned about culture as food, and culture as clothing. So today we are going to start with culture is ethnicity. Say that word with me. Ethnicity. Good job. I bet you've never heard that word before. So ethnicity includes your nationality, your ancestry, your language, your traditions, or your cultural heritage. So remember when we did our family books and you had to find out where your ancestors were from and color that piece on the map? That is part of your ethnicity, okay? Your ancestors were from a certain part of the world, right? For example, part of my ethnicity is that my ancestors are from Europe, okay? Part of my ethnicity is that we speak English, but my ancestors spoke Russian, okay? And some of my ancestors actually spoke French. So that is part of my ethnicity, because ethnicity is your ancestry, your nationality, so like what country you're from, your traditions, and your heritage. Ethnicity looks beyond your physical features, so ethnicity is more than the way you look. It can be tricky to define ethnicity because there are many parts to it. So if you remember that your race is mostly how you look, and ethnicity is your cultural, and ethnicity is cultural, that will help you. So race is how you look, ethnicity is more of your culture. Culture is ethnicity. Some examples of ethnicity are Chinese, Persian, American, Cuban, Italian, or Caribbean. Your race can be Black and your ethnicity could be Cuban. Your race can be white and your ethnicity could also be Cuban. Race and ethnicity are different. So remember, race is more how you look on the outside. So that's why it says your race can be Black and your ethnicity, so more like where you're from, could be Cuban. Your race could also be white and your ethnicity could also be from Cuba. Race and ethnicity are different. So I want you to think, what is your race? That's more of how you look. Turn and talk about what your race is. And then what is your ethnicity? And you might have to think and remember where you're from. If not, ask your parents for help. So you have an ethnicity. Everyone has an ethnicity. And remember, ethnicity is not the way we look. Ethnicity is more of our culture. So all of these people have ethnicity. Let's talk a little bit more about race now. Culture is race. Your race is based on physical features that people might share. People are often grouped together based on the color of their skin, the texture of their hair, or facial features. Your experience in your racial group are part of your cultural identity. It is important for a person with cultural intelligence, that's us, to understand the differences that people have from different races. So it says, it is important for a person with cultural intelligence to seek to understand the experience of people from different races. So in this photo, we see two people who are different races. They don't look alike. We have the man who is a lighter skin color and he has darker and shorter hair. And then we have the woman who is a darker skin color, right? And she is wearing a hijab, so we really do not see her hair, right? And so they are two separate races, but notice how they are getting along and they are getting to know one another and they are respecting one another. So when we talk about cultural intelligence, when we have cultural intelligence, we understand that yes, people look different than us, but that doesn't matter. It's my job to get to know them and to understand them and to share experiences with them, regardless of their race. People from different races experience life in different ways because of their race, and that's important. I'll read it again. People from different races experience life in different ways because of their race. There are many stereotypes and racist things said and done to people from different racial groups. A person with cultural intelligence, that's us, could learn what was hurtful or offensive to certain groups and work to treat people the right way. They can avoid saying or doing something that harms people different from them. Okay? And we talked about this when we were learning about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., how he was a man of a different race. And he received a lot of hurtful words said to him just because of his race, the color of his skin. And he was a kind man. He was a smart man, yet nobody treated him that way. They treated him poorly based on the color of his skin. So that is an example of how somebody from a different race was treated in a different way. Okay? And it's important for us, people with cultural intelligence, to understand that when we hear something being said about someone that's hurtful or offensive, we make choices to not say those hurtful, harmful things, or that we make sure we are standing up for those people, right? When something hurtful or harmful is said about them. So here's our discussion question. Have you accidentally said or done something hurtful to a person that was a different race? And what did you learn? So here is, people can be different races. So each one of these children is a different race. Remember, race is kind of our physical appearance, so the way that we look. And I think race is beautiful, and I think it's beautiful that not everybody looks the same and that people have differences. I think that's awesome. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So today we talked about race and religion as part of our culture and how important knowing those things can be for our culture. Good job, guys!